It's round 13 of the Moto3 World Championship in 2024. Welcome to the Mazzano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli for 20 laps of this amazing circuit to see who's going to be victorious. David Alonso on pole position. He has such a lead in the championship. Let's head down to Susie Perry on the grid.
Everybody at home going, he's 8 years old.
Yeah.
He does look really young, doesn't he? Behind him, Angel Piqueras, talking of rookies. And actually, when we drove out of the track last night, he was just standing with all the punters on his own. And we were both like, what's he doing? What's he doing there? And we were staring at him. And do you know what he did? He saw us, he clocked it, and he just winked at us, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He winked at you. He completely blanked me in the back, giving him thumbs up. Obviously, you were sat in the front seat, as you always are. So, yeah.
The point is, uber cool, but he has got that double long lap penalty, but he goes from fourth.
Yeah, and he deserves that penalty. Yeah, it was...
that was on Scott,
Scott Ogden in the second practice. Sorry, the first practice yesterday. He rode through the side of Scott Ogden, took his handlebars out of his hand, and it was a very, very fast, scary crash for poor Scott Ogden. He got ragdolled in the gravel, and he'll definitely be sore today. So, yeah, double long lap penalty. But he's got superb pace, as Piqueras. He's looked very fast all weekend. Can he do it from a double lap penalty? Well, we've seen other people do it. It just depends if there's a group or not.
Just looking at Filippo Farioli there, goes from the middle of the fourth row. Scott, by the way, goes from the middle of the seventh row in 20th, which was such a shame because he's obviously terribly beaten up from that crash, but we know that he, can be good around this track.
Yeah, he likes his track, and he was having a good weekend right up to that point. That's why it's so annoying, because obviously it takes all your momentum is gone. But the way he rolled in the gravel, I mean, he'll be... The problem is, because the crash was yesterday, it's always the second day your injuries feel worse. Sometimes when you've just done them, you're still full of adrenaline throughout that day. You wake up this morning, you've got sprained ankles, got proper whiplash, really beaten up. So yeah, he's going to earn his money today, Scott.
Let's hope a little bit of adrenaline can kick in and get him round here then, as we look at Ryusi Yamanaka. Jose Antonio Rueda, winner last time out, going from 12th. It's not been that great a weekend so far for him, has it?
No, not at all. I mean, he's got slightly better pace than certainly the fourth row of the grid. I don't know what happened in qualifying. It was like he never got a clean lap. I kept my eye on him, and but actually, if you look around him, look how close the times are. It's ridiculous. Like 1/10 of a second would put him up like 6 places. So yeah, it's tight around that part.
Could Adrian Fernandez be a dark horse this weekend?
Yep, super aggressive. The Hondas look like they've made a step, so it's quite nice to see his teammate Piqueras and Lunetta on the Honda on the front row of the grid. This championship's been dominated by the KTM, but the Hondas, like I say, have found something, and on this track they seem to be working well. So if you put Adrian Fernandez in the fight, he'll get his elbows out. He's one of the very aggressive young Spanish riders coming
I'm
through.
guessing you're going to tip David Alonso for the win.
I'll take a gamble, yeah, I'll go on that. How about yourself?
Yeah, well, I don't think you can look past him, to be honest, around here. It's his to lose, that's for sure, as we look at the front row of the grid. Then in terms of the weather, it's very humid down here, Gavin. Michael should be alongside you now to commentate on this.
Well, this is going to be quite interesting. We've got wet weather coming in the air. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen next. It sounds perfect then for a Moto3 Grand Prix at Mazzano. Here it is then, ready to go. The Moto3 Grand Prix of Mazzano. This is your lining up order. David Alonso on pole position from Luca Lunetta in second. Ivan Ortola lines up third. Angel Piqueras has an irresponsible riding during practice 2, taking out Scott Ogden. He has a double long lap penalty. Colin Vire is 5th, Joe Kelso 6th, and Dan Holgado 7th. Adrian Fernandez 8th, and Taiso Forasato 9th. Nepa 10th, Ferroli 11th, Ruda in 12th. Yamanaka 13th, from Munoz 14th, Rossi in 15th. Bertoletti is 16th with Rulstone 17th. Perez takes 18th on the grid. It's 19th for Almanza with Ogden down in 20th. Caro takes 21st. Zurazita is 22nd from Suzuki 23rd. And 24th for Joel Esteban. Deltwell is 25th. Takahon Boralasi is 26th. And Jacob Rulseller is in 27th position. Humid here at Mazzano. Air temperature 31 degrees Celsius, ground temperature 33, 7 km/h wind, 49% chance of rain at the moment, but that's coming. The rain is rising, the atmosphere is building. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen next here in San Marino. Grandstands filling up nicely. Everyone loves it here. Let's check in with our commentators. Alongside us, it is Gavin Emmett alongside Michael Laverty.
Not as it did yesterday, despite being actually a few degrees lower in ambient temperature, but it is the humidity that makes it feel tough for the riders. I think it will be a physical race. The majority of the riders have ended up on the soft SC1 rear, and yeah, the medium SC2 seems to be the favourite option on the front. So yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag across the board. You look across the front row and you've got Alonso on the harder front option, softer rear. Then Lunetta in the middle going for soft front, soft rear, and then you go all the way across and it's harder front, harder rear for Ortola. So complete mixed bag across the front row of the grid. It sounded like Lunetta was confident there that they made the right choice with the soft front, soft rear, so he feels obviously the increased turning on the Honda chassis will play into his hands. Yeah, remains to be seen which is the stronger option over distance though.
I think they'd know as well, wouldn't you? What usually happens here, you can do everything in prep for this race. They can see it's so warm, actually. It's as warm as it's been throughout the weekend, but there's no sun bearing down on the track. So while it's 31 degrees, the track itself is only at 33. And when you get into a Moto3 race, Michael, it's going to be a group. You're not going to be able to run the kind of pace you might have expected. And I can feel like a David Alonso sitting there until 3 laps from the end.
Yeah, we've seen it so many times this year, Alonso's ability to keep his powder dry, keep his tyre underneath him, and then whenever he needs to, he winds the wick up. And I've heard him talk about it in podcasts and the like. That's his strategy. He knows there's a window when to use the energy from the tyre and his physical energy, and that puts everyone else under pressure. So I can see it being a great race with a little bit of strategy from those clever riders, the likes of an Alonso, Colin Fire, or Tola, just deciding how things pan out.
We're all set then, ready to go for the Moto3 Grand Prix. The tension is rising. The atmosphere is going to be through the roof as well, actually, down towards the first corner. Tight chicane lining up. Let's just see what's going to happen next. Keep your eyes at the back. Ready, steady. 20 laps of Mazzano. It's under starter's orders. Lights on. Lights out, we're racing. Good start from Alonso. Luca Linetta's going to come in behind, and then Ivan Ortola slots into third position. Baqueras with his long lap penalties, remember, doesn't have to serve the opening lap as they come round into turn 1, and that's going to be Baqueras straight up into the lead of the race. Big accident further behind. 3, 4, 5 riders down. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a red flag situation as well. Huge accident. It's Ruda, Munoz, Rossi, Yamanaka involved in that one as well. Right in the centre of the pack. Would not be surprised if it's a red flag. 2 getting away as well. Ruda with no front bodywork. He'll have to come in and out of the race as well. So that's it. That is a biggie. It's Ruda, Munoz and Rossi. The 3 officially have gone down. Ortola up into second position, getting ahead of David Alonso, who has a 3-race advantage in the championship. He's 75 points clear to anybody else. Race starting. Incidents currently under investigation between Ruda, Munoz and Rossi. The yellow flags have come in. No sign of the reds. Barassi battling with Caro as well. So a good start as they head on down in towards turn 11. Holgado moves up into third position. Baqueras though may lead, but he's got the long lap penalty, so watch out for Ivan Ortola and what he can do with Holgado, who's now ahead of Alonso. So Alonso, for the first time in 4 races, is now losing points. That's something that hasn't happened in a very, very long time. There's the confirmation of Baqueras' long lap penalty. As Rossi, yeah, we already know he's crashed out. Why the time is telling us that now, I do not know. Because it seems to be getting a little bit out of hand. But across the line then, there's the official confirmation. 19 laps to go this one. And Baqueras will hold off Ivan Ortola. Holgado's third, Alonso fourth, Ferrasato's up to fifth, Lunetta down into sixth position, Nepa seventh, Kelso eighth, Adrian Fernandez ninth, Vaya rounds out the top 10, Felipe Ferroli in 11th position as we come in towards turn 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6, they all lose back up at the back of the circuit. Baqueras still having the gumption down the straight, opens up that throttle, gets in the slipstream as well, and Ortola's going to have a little look. Holgado's looking to the inside as well. Holgado's going to take second position away from Ivan Ortola at the inside line at turn 8. The left-hand side corner, he's going to have a go at Piqueras. Doesn't need to have a go because Piqueras, with that double long lap penalty, he'll soon feel the brunt of it. For Asato via Lunetta further back as well. They're chaining over Rulestone, passing Almanza. Nepa passing Forasato as well on the back stretch as they come. Holgado up 5 places, Almanza up 6, 8 places for Tatsuki Suzuki, now 9 as he gets ahead of David Almanza. Lead changings at the front once again. Holgado now takes it. Piqueras down to second. He's trying to go back up the inside, and he does exactly what he did to Scott Ogden. Dives through the inside line and makes Holgado check up. Piqueras obviously not learning his lesson. That's why he has double long lap penalty. Riders 31 and 58, a jump start. So that's Fernandez and Lunetta, who might have a double long lap penalty. They're all sending the fast laps down towards turn 1. Ortola takes the lead on the inside line. It's a right-hander at turn 1. Piqueras in second. Holgado third as they continue to ride through. Yeah, jump start for Lunetta and Adrian Fernandez. They've been given double long lap penalties by the stewards. Stefano Nepa down into 9th position with Colin Vire moving up into 10th as well. Not a bad start so far, as they'll try and hold it together and keep it through. Fingers crossed it's going to be good. Let's head back up to the radio.
Knowing that there was a little movement before the light went out.
So, as we thought, David Alonso just keeping his powder dry at this stage. Fastest rider on track is MLAV Honda's Vicente Perez down in 16th. Here we go. Angel Piqueras deciding to make the move now. Stay away from the green lines. It will be a little bit dirty. The grip is, well, that's the old racetrack, isn't it, before it was resurfaced. Will be a little bit sketchy out there, but both the Leopard riders have done it cleanly enough. And Adrian Fernandez rejoins behind Scott Ogden. Angel Piqueras rejoins behind Tatsuki Suzuki. So it's down to 13th for Piqueras, down to 19th for Fernandez. Lunetta deciding not to take it on this occasion.
Fernandez up the inside of Tommy Suratuza, so yeah, almost puts him out onto the green paint. Wasting no time in regaining the spot. Adrian Fernandez, he's known for his aggressive nature on track and living up to it today.
So the front of the field is Ortola from Holgado, Lunetta in third. There is the gap back, slight gap to Forasato with Alonso, and then Joel Kelso, who has had you talked to him on the grid, tough weekend, but pulled it out when he needed to in qualifying. He's just got to here.
Horrific weekend, more like. Alonso now leading by 66 points at the moment. So definitely on the right path. Ortola leading to Holgado. Lunetta now in third, but has that penalty. So does Fernandez. So we've already had one for Piqueras, take his long lap penalty. Have to do another one. Dropped him down to 12th place. I'll do a second, and we'll see where that gets him to. Ortola with the fastest lap, a 141.386 then. That's what the stewards have said. Kind of predicted that as they continue on the attack. And there is Forasato as well. Hang on a minute. Piqueras takes, and Fernandez. Yeah, Piqueras and Fernandez take his long lap penalty then from the stewards. So that gets that sorted out nicely as they come back through.
Adjust your line for riders. The racing line, you're rejoining the track, and it's up to you to make a safe re-entry. So using the paint is a safe re-entry.
Right, Joel Kelso made the move on Alonso, and I wonder if he's going to make the move on Forasato because he's seen Ortola and Holgado out front. Alonso is trying to box clever here, you get that feeling. Different tyre options between these two. Ortola with the harder option, the medium tyre, and the softer option for Holgado. So it's not like they're both on the soft or something like that.
Yeah, this is good for Ortola to have the harder options in both ends of the machine, front and rear, and leading at this point, and with a 1.5 seconds advantage over David Alonso, 1.6 as they cross the line between Ortola and David Alonso, who's probably is still his main threat for the victory today, but Ortola's having a different strategy, so just putting his head down early doors and seeing if he can catch the un-Colombian, napping a little bit in these early laps, perhaps.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the lap times. Ortola and Holgado was a 41.5, 41.6 from the pair of them. Not much to choose between them. For Osato, 41.7. So Kelso did match the leader's time on that last lap. And so Alonso now using a little bit of slipstream to attack Kelso. Just need to work together here. They will have the slipstream. They'll have the effect of it now, and Alonso now does make that move. Classic one here at Misano.
Yeah, back up the inside. Nothing really wrong with that one. Just a simple move. Holgado is chasing after Ortola. The gap just a tenth of a second as they come through turn 11. So it's Alonso for Osato, Kelso. That's the battle there. Alonso keeping in third position. Lanetta has completed his long lap penalty. So has Fernandez. So has Piqueras. Then we have Rosala has a track limits warning as well. Just flashed upon our timing monitor. Suzuki gets ahead up the order as well. He's in 9th position, so he's made up 2 places as well at the start. Our man's in 11th position, Ralstone in 12th. Ivan Ortola leading this race then to Holgado in P2. Over the line we go then. There's Alonso with 72 just behind him. Are they going to be a little bit more careful under braking in towards that first corner? A little bit so. But yeah, Ortola having an advantage at the front, to be fair. 0.2 of a second down. So Holgado is still there, ready to close in on if there's any action to watch out for. So gap now 1.6 seconds Holgado has to Alonso. Not the typical Moto3 race we're used to once again. Second weekend running we're having these issues because, well, nobody knows how to ride in these conditions on Pirelli tyres in Moto3. They're close, but they're starting to separate. So a 2-horse race at the front instead of the traditional lot. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts as to what we're going to see. And this plaster, really annoying, mate. So it's just coming off. Didn't work. Really annoying. Off it goes. Ah, it's better. You know that really annoying thing happened. I've got a bit of thing on my hand and yeah, it didn't work. Suzuki passes Stefano Neppa for 8th position. Bertoletti's in 9th. Oh, that feels so much better. Here's the race start there, Michael.
In the pack race and keeping, they see it.
Is he over the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
It didn't look, whether he rolled a little bit when you watch that shot, it didn't look like a big jump, to be honest.
Not
but
that, it was smooth.
The line judges are there, the cameras will have a better look at this.
Here we go. No, it was a little.
That is minimal.
Oh, I mean, that is minute. That reminds me of Cal Crutchlow that time in Argentina.
No, he did jump it.
I didn't see Adrian Fernandez on that occasion, but Toro Luca Lanetta down in 17th now.
There's the crash.
Munoz, Rueda and Rossi in the mix. You've got Munoz on the inside. Oh, Munoz just goes to a weird part of the racetrack. He's following Rueda's line and then cuts back to the inside and collects the back of Ricardo Rossi's bike there. I mean, that's first glance, but
You need to have a better look at it, but yeah, the problem is it is a bottleneck in there for turn 2, and for the likes of Adam Alonso, if there's a little opening, doesn't matter if it's a bottleneck, he's going to try and put a front wheel in there, and unfortunately it does tighten up so tricky in lap 1 to negotiate cleanly.
Yeah, he was I don't know, he was in behind Rueda and then he jagged to the inside. I don't know, I'll have to have a proper look at it again. I'm sure that you and Neil will have a close look at the end of that one, because that's, of course, last week's race winner, Rueda, out of action and out of the race.
Holgado closing in on the back of Ortola into turn 11, 12 and 13, down into 14, heavy braking zone on the circuit. Holgado thinks that he can make a move, stick on the inside line. Piqueras really passes for early, so he's in 10th place. They close that gap. He's not out of this hunt yet for maybe even a podium. Still, I don't think that Piqueras, who caused so many problems for Scott Ogden down in 15th with points, but Piqueras getting 10th. How's that justice? And serving a penalty correctly in a race. I don't see how it has developed that way. Alonso 141.125 for Sato 141.062. So they've swapped over places once again. Out of turn 3 down to 4 and 5 then on the circuit. Everyone just starting to think, oh, maybe there can be an overtake here or something just to jump ahead. Holgado. Then it's 4/10 to Alonso. Over the line we go again then for the second sector. Alonso is starting to close back up on these front two. It wouldn't surprise me if Alonso increases that gap to 80 points to Holgado as well at the end of this race. Ogden's in 15th position. Piqueras, fastest lap of the race on a 1:48.56. So even faster. Doubtweller's got a track limits warning flashing up on the monitors. Not the most interesting Moto3 race, is it? It's a bit, I don't know, predictable. Moto2 and MotoGP are probably going to be the wet races. And I think this is what the problem. You're seeing sort of the overall runaround, because this is the first time that we're coming in with those mixed conditions, the mixed humidity, going out there on the circuit, and it's visible. It's visible that the riders are struggling to get the right grip on the track.
He's on his way on fast forward to the head of this pack, but I do agree. I think Gavi's probably going to have to use too much tyre to do it.
He would have put himself second on the grid with that lap.
Really.
And obviously you get slipstream in a race situation you might not get in a race. A lot more, that's possible, but it's fast. Ortola from Holgado, both moving to Moto2 next year, as is David Alonso, these front three. And Tayo Furusato, what's your read on Furusato, Michael? Because there he is, the sole Honda in that front group, and we've seen flashes of brilliance from him at certain points this year, haven't we? Qatar, I think, back to, I think we've been running well in Barcelona, but crashing out. Germany was on the podium. How do you read what he's done this year?
I've been really impressed with him. Even last time out in Aragon, away with the leaders, then tyre dropped away. But he's fast, he's aggressive, he can make overtakes. And we assume he will remain with the Honda Team Asia squad, and he is a genuine title contender, I believe, in 2025. So he's took a couple of years to iron out the kinks, get rid of the crashes, which were a little bit too frequent in his early seasons. But I think right now he's maturing into a top quality contender with his old school riding style, his aggressive approach. Yeah, he lights up a race.
And I think it's fair to say for Japanese riders, it's similar to what we say about, well, pretty much anyone who's not Spanish or Italian. It just takes time, doesn't it? But a young Japanese kid coming over to Europe, living in Barcelona, setting up away from family over there, that takes some getting used to, doesn't it?
It does. They have a good crew, a few Asian riders as part of the junior talent team that race the Junior GP series. Then they have Ayagura Somcat Chapter based in the Barcelona area, so they do train together. But it's a massive lifestyle shift, especially for a Japanese rider to come to Europe. Some adapt quickly, some really embrace the culture, like Norihaga. And watch Furusato. We talked about it earlier in the weekend that Ayagura loves to ride really close to the rear wheel, like Norihaga, who may well be a style guru for both these riders, because Furusato is exactly the same. He'd be right hovering on your rear wheel, even though he doesn't plan to pass. You can hear him all the time. He's just there attacking. And it's a unique way to ride. It requires real precision and trust in the rider in front not to make a mistake, but he can do it comfortably.
And amongst Moto3 riders, he's already got himself a bit of a reputation, hasn't he, Furusato?
More action coming up then in this one. Again, Ortola just 4/10 to Holgado. Holgado was right up there in turn 11 on the previous lap, and now he's just lifted off and decided, okay, I'm not going to go too much on the attack now. I'll just wait and see how it goes. Colin Vaya versus Piqueras. Piqueras really, really annoying me. The fact that he's up in 7th position after doing something so dangerous in the opening practice session and forced Scott Ogden into a massive accident, that he's going to pick up better result than Ogden. It doesn't make sense. The penalty system in this series is an absolute joke. Absolute joke. Shouldn't have been a double long lap. It should have been a harsher grid penalty. Ortola, however, is going very wide, coming out of turn 15 into 16 now, the last corner. Over the line we go. And honestly, Ortola so close just to riding into an accident zone. Here we go again. This is your race leaders. Holgado looks to the inside line, down to turn 1. Ortola just keeping it out. I thought I heard someone scrape across the floor there. No one is officially down. Ferroli with a track limits warning. Doubtweller as well. Rossola as well, Lunetta. So there's a couple coming through on the monitors. Not too bad, nothing that would be an emergency situation to hold to, but yeah, it's a weird situation coming up. Over we go again then. And old Tola holding in positions. They'll hold together. Yeah, let's get that one now. Lead gap as well. So now they've caught up. So Alonso, Furusato and Kelso are now back with the leaders. We're watching via Paqueras. Paqueras gets ahead of Takasugi Suzuki. Matteo Bertoletti behind. David Almanza running on the top 10. Filippo Ferroli with an hour track limits warning. Flashed up on the monitor. They're towing in once more, keeping their eyes absolutely steady. And just 2 more places on the circuit. Kelso's got a 2.4 second lead, but even Via's closing in, so 5 in a hunt, then it's 6 down. Paqueras looks behind to see where Suzuki is, make sure he doesn't take out anybody else in this weekend's running. And looks like Furusato is going to have a go on Alonso. Looks like Kelso has been dropped back as well. Over the line. Olgado thinks about him on the inside. 9 to go here at the San Marino Grand Prix of Moto 3.
One victory in Malaysia. It always seems that one side of the garage that was Ayumu Sasaki's is Colin Byers this year. That's the seat that when he needs to get some performances under his belt, because there's a lot of seats up for grabs next year, and his name isn't top of the pecking order when it comes to so many fast rookies coming in as well.
We've got a front group of 5 now here, just past the halfway point in this race. 11 down, just under 9 to go, and it's Ortola from Olgado, 48 from 96. David Alonso, your championship leader, is there in 3rd on the blue bag, the number 80. Behind him, Tayo Furusato still running really close to the back, and Joel Kelso hanging on. The gap back to Colin Via has just opened up a little bit more on that last lap. So all these now starting to use each other's slipstream, helping each other, and it's pulling them away from the Dutchman who's chasing.
Yeah, I think on the last lap,
here comes Furusato.
Yeah, he's been shadowing David Alonso, and he knows that David is probably just boxing clever at the moment, sat there always wide at Caro. But yeah, Tayo Furusato's impatient. He's like, why aren't we getting involved? Why aren't we going through? Why aren't we getting stuck in? So he's decided he's going to mix things up with Danny Holgado on the next lap.
So it's Furusato now up into 3rd place. Starting to get our track limits warnings coming through. Farioli, Carraro, Rosenthaler, Joel Esteban. And I wonder if any of these front runners will start to have it as Tayo Furusato has joined the party.
I can see this coming from the last corner. He gets a little bit excited on the bike. The body language just says, you know what, I'm getting involved. And the whole way around here, he's like, you know he's going to lead the race before the end of this lap. He just lit the blue touch paper and decided to have a go.
And you know that the riders around him go, what are you doing? Hang about.
Yeah.
We were sat here all right. There's a long way to go, you know, Tayo here. He just threw it on the inside there. Just had a feeling for it. I think you're right here. He's just got to be wary. The riders around him have got this experience they've picked up throughout this year of running at the front, week in, week out, of just where to manage with the tyres, where to put them.
Furusato is soft front and rear, but he's the only Honda in this lead group, so it tends to have an advantage in a different area of the corner and racetrack than KTM. It's holding its own as well down this straight. Obviously, you can see the top end just...
Oh, hello, Danny Olgado.
Where did he come from? On the inside.
Someone's had an espresso, haven't they, on the way into the racetrack, because Danny Olgado lights the Curvone up with a move on Tayo Furusato.
It is full gas through there on a Moto3 bike, but Holgado had the run, a bit of a draft, and there was a little opening, so he just levered Furusato aside and made way for his KTM gas machine to get through.
He's like, I'm comfortable here behind Ortola, but it is Slipstream City is there, and that's the longest straight on this racetrack, fastest part of the racetrack into Curvone, and if you've got the slipstream working, almost you have to go, don't you? You almost have to, but you have to commit, which is where Piqueras got it wrong earlier this weekend.
Piqueras went at the second of the kinks, so you go through Curvoni at turn 11 and into 12. There was a little opening, but not quite enough to show Scott Ogden the wheel.
Oh, it's getting very messy at the front of the field, though. Oh, Tola holding off the front, backing up Olagado into Fotosato, and then Alonso coming along as well to try and spoil the party. Down we go then towards turn 8. Swooping up. I don't believe I'm going to say this, but Kelso's in the fight as well, but Vaya and Piqueras coming in as well. If Piqueras wins this race, it'll be a comeback and a half, but that'll be a bit annoying for Scott Ogden, who's down now in 16th position. Just got to think of the fairness of it all. I can't see why. It's different rules and different penalties. It doesn't make sense. Freddie Spencer is literally one of the worst stewards we've ever seen in MotoGP. Can't wait for Simon Quayford to come back and hopefully have some consistency in the stewarding decisions. Here comes Olagado down towards Carvone. Through on the inside. No, can't do it. Backs out. They're literally left. They're literally holding the right for so long. Fotosato up the inside at turn 14 makes the move up into second position. Alonso now in 4th, right behind his championship rival. So they'll try and keep that going as long as they possibly can. Into the last corner of Mazzano, over the line, 6 laps to go in the Moto3 Grand Prix of San Marino. Literally just going to try and find a way through. Fotosato takes the lead away from Ortola. First lead change in a number of laps. Now it's looking like Moto3 with 6 to go. Ortola doesn't know what to do. Hologado's pretty much out of it, and Alonso's going to look up the inside at turn 4 and 5. Can he make the move stick? We're looking from an above angle, but I think he has. Yes! David Alonso up into 3rd, and now he's gaining points on the championship leaders. Well, that's him. He's just extending the gap at the front. Insanity by this lot. Alonso up to 3rd place. Now he sets up after Ortola.
Carries a bit more momentum, as you see at La Quercia. It just puts him a bit wide on exit, but yeah, the KTM's a lot more.
Here
This
we go.
is a late one.
That is a really
Olagado,
late one from
Alonso.
Daniel Gardo. Seen it so many times at Tremonti over the years, and he makes it a clean pass. So Olgado back in front of Alonso. This is just what Fotosato would like. The KTM will probably have a little bit of a run on him here, with even Ortola just in behind. And here he goes. There you just saw that was slipstream being picked up all the way through there.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this from Danny Olgado. Immediate response. Danny likes to pretty much force the issue. He likes to be back at the pointy end all the time. If he slips into 3rd or 4th, he'll immediately respond.
Hello, last corner manoeuvre, anyone? As Tayo Fotosato goes back underneath and he makes it clean at that final corner.
I can't tell you how difficult it is to pass into that final corner. Really, really tough. One of the toughest. Look at this. Danny Olgado immediately responds into turn 1.
All this is doing now is slowing the pace of the front group. Just look in the back of shot. Colin Baer's coming, and he's bringing with him Piqueras, Bertelli, and Tatsuki Suzuki. What's a 5-rider battle at the front could about to become 9.
Oh.
I think Colin Byers winding the wick up. His personal best last time around, 41.4. It's not going to be easy, but he's really going to have to push hard. You've got 4.5 laps to get your head down and hope that the battle commences out front, and it is a real jockey for position that he'll just close up half a second in 1 lap. What
you have to admire from Baer as Alonso makes the lunge down into La Quercia on Tayo Fotosato. What you have to admire from Baer is his patience. David Alonso had a little bit of a gap earlier, and he closed it up gradually over a couple of laps, but Baer has just been chipping away here. He's not gone hell for leather.
Oh, Alonso nearly touches Olagado and takes him out. He's just having to keep it together. So Alonso now in 2nd position. He's setting off after... Oh, hang on a minute. Ortola's retaking the lead according to our timing screens. Okay. Oh, Fotosato on the inside. Olagado gets forced off wide. So it's Ortola, Alonso, Fotosato. A 1, 2, 3 here in Moto3 with a closing couple of laps coming up. Air temperature 31 degrees. Tucking that inside line. Get back on the power. And just a few lines coming up. lap 4. Alonso, surprise, surprise. Pole sitter takes the lead. Furasato nearly takes out. And they go side by side. Otola's going to get a run out there. Furasato nearly takes everybody out. Holgado back around the outside of Ortola. Back around the inside line of Furasato. Takes second position. Caro with a long lap penalty now. So Alonso in the lead. Oh, well, that's to be expected. Yellow flag sector 1. Caro, long lap penalty, and Vicente Perez has crashed out of this race. Furasato closing up, nothing can be done down to turn 8, and it's about to become a 9-way fight for this victory in Moto 3.
Perez unfortunately has crashed out in an incident in the first part of the racetrack. It's David Alonso leading for Colombia here in Italy. Daniel Gardo is second on the Gas Tech 3 bike. Behind him, Tayo Furasato on the Honda Asia. Then it's even Ortola who's led for the majority of this race. But now, as they come past, is he able to match the pace of the front runners?
Can Holgado get a run on the inside line coming through Carvone? He's going for an Alonso. Alonso knew was coming, and then into the lead of the race goes Daniel Holgado. Alonso down to second. Furasato is waiting for the move. That's an old replay. Furasato passes Alonso up into second place. This was Furasato nearly touching the back of Ortola. And that's what forced Ortola wide with Furasato and allowed Holgado to go back through. And by the end of that lap, he had the lead of the race. Alonso on the inside line. He takes second away from Furasato. Ortola's there too, and Kelso being dragged in. 7/10 back is Piqueras in 6th. You all know how we think about that. Just got to be careful with 3 to go. The last thing you want to do is throw it off the circuit, lose out on multiple points. Just keep calm and carry on. Yeah, so this is going to be a lot more close-up. Alonso just waiting for a move on Holgado. Furasato closing him up as well.
Also junior GP champion, huge expectation on his shoulders. And Angel Piqueras is looking really good here. Out of Tramonto, it's Daniel Gardo leading from, well, we're told, it's possibly his future teammate in Moto 2. David Alonso could well be the Aspar duo in Moto 2 next year. But Holgado has dropped back in the championship. He has not won since the second round of the series back in Tuscany. Here comes Tayo Furasato, but Alonso closes the door on the Japanese rider. A front group of 4. Here comes Alonso! Wow!
Way too far back.
He aborted mission very, very late, and Holgado hangs on.
Yeah, good skill to be able to break into a tight first gear corner, almost touching the rail. He's going for the last turn manoeuvre, or at least lining it up for the future on possibly the final circuit.
You feel like he's
practice.
Furasato, stay behind me here. I want to have a go here, but Furasato looking so racy behind with 2 laps remaining. Here we go.
And Alonso dives up the inside line at turn 1, and Holgado, they're going to go wheel to wheel. Alonso losing out. Holgado keeps the lead of the race. This is what we were waiting for in Moto 3. This is what they've been saving their tyres for all race. They weren't sure about the weather conditions. Now it's a 9-way fight as we come into turn 3. Unbelievable stuff. Piqueras has passed Kelso. Piqueras is in this fight. From a double long lap penalty down, controversially, he might even be lining up for a win. He's lining up Ivan Ortola down towards turn 8 as Alonso goes on the inside, gets ahead of Holgado. Furasato tried, not going to work out through the long left-hander. Up to 9 and 10 then. Furasato in 3rd. Ortola down to 4th. Alonso v Holgado changing places once again. And here comes Piqueras side by side with Furasato for 3rd place as we head down to Carvone. Alonso's in the slipstream as well. This is going to be a practice for the last lap as well. You can just tell it's coming. Alonso looks to the inside line. Ortola gets ahead of Piqueras. Piqueras back on the inside line. And off the track goes Ortola. Piqueras comes in out of nowhere and almost takes down Alonso. Front wheel of Piqueras touching the rear of Alonso. 9 times out of 10, you are down on the deck. And somehow, that was the 10th time that it didn't happen. Unbelievable. It only takes one. And this is now that last lap. Piqueras is going to try for a double long lap to race victory. He took the lead early on. We knew he had the pace. He's side by side. He passes off Alonso. Into second place goes Piqueras. Alonso down into third. The gap will only be 1 point extra than when we started. Alonso came in on 75. It's now actually going to come down to 72 if it stands where it is. Still 3 race victories the difference. Not going to be that much. As they continue on the attack, Piqueras is there with the battle to Holgado. Up they come once more into the braking zone. Light on the brakes, turns in. Piqueras takes the lead. Alonso to second. Holgado down into third. An amazing end as they all try and weave through the slipstream. Holgado looks to the inside line. Alonso knew he was there. He's trying to turn in. Hasn't worked out. Holgado goes through. Alonso gets 1. He gets 2 taps from Ivan Ortola. Ortola bumping him out of the way. Alonso behind for Asato now in 5th position. He's under attack from Colin Fire. So that's in 5th for Alonso. Piqueras is going to win. A controversial weekend for where he took out Scott Ogden. A double long lap penalty in the race. He's come back to lead. Is he going to win? 2 corners left. Both the right-handers. Holgado lining him up into the last corner. It's in a do-or-die manoeuvre into Mazzano. Holgado thinks about it. Piqueras, his rear tyre slides. It's a run to the line. Angel Piqueras wins, but Holgado's right there in the line. It's a photo finish. 35 thousandths of a second. Piqueras comes back from a long lap penalty twice and wins the San Marino Grand Prix of Moto3. Credit where credit's due. That is an impressive ride. Controversy in practice, taking out Scott Ogden. Has he learned anything? I don't know. But definitely, he's come back to win in style. Piqueras wins and gets congratulated by Holgado. 0.035 at the line. Wow! Literally nothing more you can say about that. That was fantastic. Spanish 1, 2, 3 in Italy as well. Oh, TNT go to a break. That was the morning. I've already nearly lost my voice. I wonder what Moto2 is going to bring when the rain comes down. Piqueras wins. Holgado is second. Third on the grid goes Ortola. Forasato is 5th, with Via 6th. Alonso finishes, Via 5th, Alonso 6th, Kelso 7th, Suzuki 8th, Lanetta 9th, Ferroli 10th. Almanza, Ralston, Fernandez, Neppen, Ogden did pick up the last point, but if you ask me how a rider who deliberately cut through and caused a massive accident, he gets 25 points, you only get 1. The double long lap penalty, you can tell, doesn't work, and it's not a penalty, is it? To come through. Caro, 16th, Yamanaka, Zurazita, Rusala, Deltwala, Borassi, Esteban, the 22 finishers. Out was Bertoletti, Perez, Ruda, Munoz and Rossi. What a Moto3 race that was. And you can join us again in 2 weeks' time when we're back here at Mazzano for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. From us all here, thanks for your company. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.